It's Tuesday. You know what time it is. Frontrunner Podcast Collective is back on the air. I am your humble host, Vince. And today we have a jam-packed podcast. We are going to do a pretty deep dive into the Chicago Bulls, what is going on with them, their success lately, what's leading to that. We're also going to take a brief look into what is going on at the bottom of the Eastern playoff or play-in tournament. We're going to look at Miami Heat. We're going to look at the Pacers. We're going to look at everybody, and we're going to kind of give you what you should be looking for. And then we're going to go around the arc where we're going to kind of bounce around the league, give you some of the stories and some of the things that are kind of intertwined together. We're going to give you some off the bounce, and in that, we have a couple interesting stats for you that I can't wait to get to. And then we also have some baseline buzz where we're going to talk about a team and what's going on with them and what storyline is about to happen with them that I don't think anybody really realizes. So we'll get to all of that. So that is what is on tap for today. But before I get to any of it, three things. One, let's give a shout out to our producer, Soraya. She is awesome. You can find her on X, which is at Rhea underscore Funch FRPC. You can also find myself at Frontrunner PC on X. Please join the conversation. Get involved with us on X. Also, get involved with us on YouTube. Join in and get into some of the polls and things of that nature. It is a blast. We're going to start putting more things up there soon. And let's see. The other thing that I want to get into before we get really into the pod is kind of like my processes. Last night, I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Laker game, and it's awful. You know, it's just god awful basketball. You saw a team that was completely disconnected. And then, because I needed a palate cleanser, I ended up watching the Chicago Bulls game in the Denver Nuggets. Um, Obviously, I have a lot of notes from that. That's the other thing that goes into this process is that I physically write notes. I take notes. And then I transcribe them onto the computer and go from there. The thing that also was funny was over the weekend, I ended up watching a Duke game. And it wasn't my first Duke game. I've seen a lot of tape on some of the prospects that we have been talking about. Maliak, the kid, the 7'2" kid out of South Sudan. Con Knipple, who I believe is going to be a future NBA player who's going to play in this league a long time. Cooper Flagg, obviously. But the one thing I did notice, and I brought up to a scout friend of mine, I said, is he going to be able to be a like a on ball primary initiator? And he was saying, well, the work ethic is certainly there. And then I came to this point where he's giving me all this, and I said, hold on. And I know in the NBA, if you are a 7 or a 7.5 in any kind of actual attribute, usually the NBA kind of shaves that off of your, diet of what you do, your skills, your skill set. So skill set diet, however you want to put it. And I said, now he'll be kind of afforded some situations because of the fact that he'll be the number one overall pick. And he was like, yeah, see, that's the whole thing. And he's such a tireless worker that I don't think his dribble package would at this point translate into a situation where he could be a on ball facilitator right now. Do I see him as a second side guy? Yes. Do I wonder if the shot will be ever good enough to be a first option guy on a team? I don't know. But do I think he will contribute to winning? Yes. Do I think he can be a number 2 option to a really good number 1 option? Yes. Do I think that he does so many things on the court that makes it easier on a number 1 option? Yes. So all of the things that they say about Cooper Flagg are true, but I do want to throw a couple things. There are some areas of growth that need to be like at least talked about. And the one thing is right now, I know that he's the primary initiator for the Duke Blue Devils. I understand that. But I'm telling you, in the NBA, people have talked about his efficiency with his dribble. I am telling you the reason for that efficiency is because it's not as developed as it needs to be a complete on ball. I create offense for myself and others. So for me personally, that is an area that I am looking for more development, and I would love to see what that looks like in the summer league after he gets drafted. And the one thing that I would say about this is that now I am rooting for um like the teams that have very or they lack high end talent. So the Washington Wizards come to mind, and I'm trying to think of some other teams that come to mind that have like Brooklyn Nets. That's a team that comes to mind. I know there's ghosts out there screaming, "You're not talking about my team, and we're dead set in this lottery." Utah, I know you're out there, and I know that's your dream. I know Cooper Flagg, Salt Lake City. You're not fooling anybody. I know who you are. I know you are absolutely salivating on the chance of getting Cooper Flagg. But you got a really good coach. You got a couple dudes on your squad. I would kind of want our guy Cooper Flagg to go to a team that really was devoid of talent. And because I want to see if he can develop the skill. I want to see if he can develop the dribble package that will allow him to be an on-ball offensive creator and be a driving force of winning in a total way, kind of a la LeBron James, a la Luka Doncic, a la Steph Curry. I'm trying to think of other. Well, Steph is not a real on-ball guy. Um, the other dudes that I'm thinking of, like, the Shea Gilgeous-Alexanders of the world and things of that nature. Those are the guys that I'm talking about that really drive offenses, that really, really push what the team's agenda is. And I don't know at this point in time, does Cooper Flagg's skill set fit that particular thing? This is just off what I'm watching. So we'll see as the tournament goes. We'll also see how this dude develops. There's still no doubt that he is the number 1 overall pick. The work ethic, the shot, the defensive aptitude that he has, the initiation that he has on defense, the feel that he has on offense. Because here's the other thing. He's a physical freak. He's not like this dude that just is there on a basketball court and he has a couple skills and whatever. No, this guy can jump out the building. He's really physical. He's really strong, quick. He makes decisive moves. It's going to be a lot of great things going on with Cooper Flagg. But I did want to bring up that one thing. Because before we crown him and what have you, I want to make sure that we treat him just like we treat all the other prospects, is that there are things that he still needs to completely work on to really be the guy that people are going to want him to be as the number 1 overall pick. Because this is a thing that I always want to tell people about drafts. And we talked about it last year. Sometimes you have a draft that doesn't like scream out to you, hey, they're like 3 or 4 dudes that are kind of difference makers. And when I think of difference makers, I'm talking your 1, 2, or 3rd option on a winning basketball team, right? We didn't have a lot of those guys last year necessarily. What we had a lot of like high-end role players that were going to contribute to winning and all of those type of things. This year we have guys that are capable of cracking that 1, 2, or third option on a good team on an NBA franchise. But for Cooper Flagg to be just lock, stock, and barrel, just handpicked to be a number one option, I think right now we got to pump the brakes on that. Expectations through the roof, no doubt. There's a lot that he can do. There's a lot more pluses than there are negatives. And the work ethic tells you that he will get there at some point. But I will say this: be prepared for him being off ball once he comes into the league. Just food for thought. Now, we can get on to the rest of the podcast, and we're going to start off with our front running theory. And we put the Chicago Bulls, into the front running theory for a lot of reasons. One, they absolutely annihilated the Lakers on Saturday night, scoring 148 points. And I was like, that caught my eye a little bit. I tried to pass it off as tired legs for the Lakers, and I think for the most part, the Lakers probably have had tired legs, but we are not going to disillusion everybody. They absolutely destroyed the Lakers with just activity, energy, and a lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about today. So let's get into it. The Chicago Bulls are accidentally kind of intriguing at this point. They're not tanking. They're not contending. They're just a team with Josh Giddy passing like a 6'8" yoga instructor, Modest Buzelis trying to dunk on everything in the league that has a driver's license. And this isn't about chaos or clarity. It's about teams just flirting with the future, or maybe not flirting with the future. It all depends on how you look at the Chicago Bulls at this present time. But hopefully by the end of this, we'll have a better explanation of what the Bulls are and what they're trying to do. So let's proceed. Right now, here's what's going on with the Bulls. They have been on fire of late. They won 5 out of 6. They are currently locked into the 9th seed. There's no chance for them to get knocked out of this. They would have to fall on super hard times for this for them to fall out of this situation. Now, as we have always talked about on this podcast, the Reinsdorfs are allergic to tanking. It was absolutely astonishing that they got off Zach LaVine. There were reports that they tried to get off Nikola Vucevic also during the NBA trade deadline in February. And here's the thing. The interest was there, but the price tag really tempered what the actual teams that were actually bidding for him, and they couldn't come to any kind of resolution, which was very discouraging, because I thought when they made the Zach LaVine move, this was the start of a new era where they were going to go ahead and kind of deconstruct the team, keep the young pieces, allow more high-end talent that you can get from the draft. Now, they did get their pick back, so they have more control over that, which is great. The problem is that they're in the 9th seed and probably going to play whoever loses the 7-8 matchup. They're probably going to play that team for ultimately who makes it in to the NBA playoffs on the eastern side of the bracket, only to get their head beat in by the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, we're going to talk glowingly about a lot of things in Chicago upcoming, but I do want to say that let's not, as much as we're about to throw flowers onto them for how hard they played and some of the adjustments that have been made, this team should have tanked. this team should have made some sort of effort to rid themselves of Vucevic, to lower their expectations of winning, to go ahead and dip their foot into a very talent-rich draft. But if you would have got up to the higher overall picks, you would have had a better shot of locking in what I would consider a guy who is a no doubt going to fit into somewhere 1, 2, or 3 as an option to play for your basketball team once you are good. So, with all that being said, let's talk about what else is going on with them. Are they going to win about 40 games? Just hover around 40 wins? Probably. Is it going to result in championship rings? No. Is this going to help the rebuild in any way? No. They're just in playing purgatory at this point. So, I give you the bleak. Let's give you the sun. Josh Giddy is playing his ass off. One. Okay. Let's get Soraya some love here. She got me all of these stats, and this is what we have for our guy in Josh Giddy. He's averaging 14, 7, and 7. He's shooting 37.9% from 3 on volume. He has a positive 2.6 box plus minus at this point in time. He also has a assist percentage of 32.1%. He also has defensive rebounding percentage of 9.4. Now, he does have a turnover spike in the clutch, okay, which is 23.7%. Now, he's not just tall, and he's not just the hair, the flowing mane that people associate Josh Giddy with. No. He's quietly running this offense with the smoothness of silk pajamas. I'm telling you, he threw some passes last night that were just incredible. But there's a price to all the flowing mane, the cool accent from Australia, and the, I would say, Luka Doncic bravado of passing that he offers the Chicago Bulls fans. There's a price. And is that price to the Chicago Bulls $30 million? Is he worth it? And more importantly, does Chicago even know how to build around this type of guy? Now, here's a note from Soraya. And this is where, hey, she stands on it. This is 10 toes down. Look, Soraya says, let's stop lowballing. If Giddy is that dude, lock it down. He's calm, unbothered, productive, and kind of dangerously cute. I didn't need that. Soraya. With a soft floater, somebody's going to pay him. It better be the Chicago Bulls. So, Soraya is co-signing a signed Josh Giddy to the Bulls. What say you, Chicago Bulls fans? What say you, hashtag C-Red family? Let us know. Hit us up on X. Hit us up on Blue Sky. And I'll give you those handles in a little bit. The other guy that I have been paying a lot of attention to is not just Giddy, but Buzelis. And the reason why I've been kind of putting this all together is because I'm like, they might have a little mini nucleus that others might want to play around. Especially another year if it develops the continuity that I'm thinking about. So, here's the notes that I got from Anonymous Scout. Giddy's clutch take, his vision, his reaction. He needs stronger ball security in late game activities. That goes to the 23.7% on turnover rate in the fourth quarter in clutch possessions. Buzelis is hitting 31 hitting 31 on the Lakers, playing with confidence. Oh, did you see that dunk that he had against the Lakers where he went baseline, put Luka in the blender, lost him, and then dunked on him? That was sweet. I love that. I didn't love it for the Lakers, but I loved it because I was like, that dude, he plays with some sauce. So, is it a rebuild? No. Is it a soft reboot? This is what Chicago has always been trying to sell us. And for the first time, I actually see the semblance of what they're trying to sell us. So let's get into the Buzelis numbers. His true shooting percentage is .552. His 3-point rate is .483. And his free throw rate is 85.5. Physicality is trending up at this point in time. Now, the film is showing that he's spacing the floor well. He's finding lanes. He's cutting to the basket with, in a sense, more confidence that he's going to get the ball, that he's more part of what the team is trying to do. Josh Giddy is finding him, and he makes smart, timely cuts. And there seems to be a mind meld that goes on with Giddy and Buzelis, and it might be something for me. I would love to see further coalesce personally. I would love to see these guys kind of grow together for the next couple years. Now, you are still concerned with both of their shots. They don't shoot a high percentage of three as of yet. Now, Giddy has shown more promise of late, but we have a couple years of Giddy information that says, hey, this hasn't always been the case, but we are going to make a case for Giddy a little bit later in this podcast, so don't you worry. Now, here's the one thought. He's not Lowry 2.0. He's Mata's 1.0. He's not just got the lead, he got the cosign from marketing himself. You know what I'm saying? So marketing played against this guy, said, yo, he brings it every night. He has a swag about him. He has a confidence about him that allows him to make plays in a sense of, you're looking at a situation where, okay, is that something that you would want him to do? Maybe not necessarily, but he's doing it. And that's development. Now, it's easier to have somebody out there who's aggressive and then you can kind of rein them back in than it is you trying to coax it out of them. We've been looking for Jabari Smith to have this same type of energy over the last couple years, and it's never come to fruition. Monas Buzelis has come into the league with it. He's like, yo, when I come out here, it's my time to ball. I'm getting those shots. I'm going to play defense. I'm going to be in your face. You're not going to like it. I'm going to love it. It's going to be a great time for me and my teammates. And that is Matas Buzelis in a nutshell. And he also talks some trash. He is not afraid to talk some trash, which is commendable on his part coming into the league. Because I know he's probably talked trash to the wrong person. I need to get a story on that. If somebody has one, hit me up on X. I'm gonna give you the email. Hit me up on our email, and we'll definitely talk about that on air. Now, we got Giddy entering his payday. What's Chicago gonna do? Got Buzelis blooming. Now, the weird one is Patrick Williams got paid. Okay, he got 4 years, $90 million. I will ask this question, and I will continue to ask this question. Who was Chicago actually bidding with at the time of when he became a free agent? Because this salary doesn't match the productivity that Pat Williams has put on the court. He is 6'9", 240. He's a athletic freak. He can put it on the deck, but he doesn't go to the rim. The three-point shot has really never developed past what it has been. And he seems timid, and albeit he seems a little Tobias-esque, if you know what I'm talking about. For the real ones, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you are put in any shade of Tobias Harris, you might be a cardio god. At least that's how the Philadelphia 76ers fans think of Tobias Harris. Now, Kobe White, he's also been balling. He's been balling on a serious level. So you put all those three things together, and that's why the Chicago Bulls are probably going to end up beating who they play in the play-in, and then play in that losers leave town game to get that AC. Our guy Kobe White has been leveling up, and let's talk about it a little bit. Chicago is third in pace since the trade of Zach LaVine. This was basically the freeing of Kobe White, the freeing of Josh Giddy, and the end of the tyranny of one Zach LaVine over the Chicago Bulls. And it seems like a cloud has been lifted. Kobe White, 24.6 points per game. 61.3 true shooting percentage. Oh, here's the best part. As little as he is, as slight as he is, but he has such a cool throw. 6.4 free throw attempts a game. Oh, by the way, he shoots 39.2% from three. So tell me what he's not doing. Oh, I got more stats for you. Transition points up from 12.3 to 18.7 per 100 possessions. So if this is the situation, if you're going to have Giddy orchestrating the offense, you're going to have Kobe White pushing the tempo every time they feel that you are lollygagging back on defense, or, God forbid, they get a defensive rebound and they're on the break. Kobe White is gone. And he's like, are you going to run with me or not? Buzelis has figured it out. He's running with them. You saw Jalen Smith run with him last night. There were a couple connections there. There seems to be a nice little connection with Josh Giddy. When Josh Giddy will bring up, he'll trail and walk right into a three. We saw a couple of those in Denver last night. So these are the type of things that we're seeing out of Kobe White at this present time. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's looking real nice. And then Giddy with the outlet passes are stupid. He's finding people on incredible lanes, levels, and what have you. He's an equal opportunity dimer. Doesn't matter what shade, color, creed you are. Josh Giddy will find you, and if you got good hands, guess what? That is a bucket for you and an assist for him. A little bit more on Kobe White, and the reason why we're doing this is because I have one last thing at the end of this. Kobe White is now 24 years of age. He is 6'5". He's 195 pounds. Still slight. Obviously his strengths are tempo control. He draws free throws at a great level. He shot 10 last night. Off the catch shooting is so much better. Decision making has improved. His weaknesses, and he seemed to kind of fix this a little bit, but I'll get into it in a second. Finishing at the rim, still a problem. On-ball defense, still shaky. His role is basically, if you got a big offensive initiator like Josh Giddy, you can pair him with Kobe White. If you got some real rim protectors behind them. Right now they don't, and this is why they're where they are. This is exactly why Chicago is in purgatory of being in the play-in or not necessarily making the playoffs or what have you. So, what's his role? He is a primary tempo engine plus second side creator. My comparison for Kobe White, if you want, is a diet De'Aaron Fox plus Jamal Crawford handle. Because I'm going to tell you, the handle is saucy. It is so saucy. He put some moves on Jamal Murray last night, and I thought Jamal Murray was going to have to go to the hospital. I said to a lot of people, I was like, oh my God, is Jamal Murray's mama going to even talk to him? Because it was bad. He did something to Westbrook that was criminal last night. I thought that you can only do that in prison. That shot at the end of the quarter, where he sits there and puts it between his legs, then puts it behind his back for a step back three in Westbrook's face, I thought that was completely disrespectful to a future Hall of Famer. And I didn't think that the good people of Denver, Colorado, the good, fine citizens of Denver, Colorado, should be witness to that kind of brutality on the court, personally. Just my thoughts. Kobe White is not just hot. He is helping the Bulls rebrand their identity. 31 fast break points versus Denver isn't a fluke. That was a signal flare to the league that if you don't get your ass down the court, we are going to embarrass you because we're young and we don't want to play half court offense anyway because we can't shoot except for a couple people like Kobe White. Now, what does this all mean, right? Vince, get to it. What does this all mean? Two things. First of all, Chicago, welcome to a more fun play-in purgatory. I mean, Kobe White brings some excitement. You got Josh Giddy making incredible passes, and Buzelis has a chance to be really good. And I think that trying to build that continuity between those three is something that you can go from good to, hey, we're a little bit better than good, and now we are a playoff team. And you can build it like Indiana. It can be done, Chicago. You can build from mediocrity. Don't let Jerry Reinsdorf tell you any different. I know he's trying to sell you a bill of goods that being 500 and making the play-in is great, and we are just waiting for the Messiah to come, who is the next Michael Jordan. So, Rhea, we are at 33-12. I gotta, yeah. You got me? So again, you're sitting there and you're looking at this situation and you're going like, what's different? Well, it's going to look a lot different. Take into what was it? Excuse me. Does anybody remember The Simpsons where I think it was Mark McGuire where he says, do you really want to know the deep down dark truth? Or do you just want to see me hit some dingers? And maybe for Chicago fans, a more entertaining brand of basketball until they're able to get rid of some of these contracts out albatrosses. I mean, you look at the situation where, I'm sorry, Nikola Vucevic did not offer any rim protection at all last night. You can see some of the deficiencies that the Bulls have, but they're playing hard. They're playing with a lot of energy. You can see them trying, and they're entertaining as hell. So I don't really have a problem with it. And I think the development of Kobe White is where I want to end here. And this is what I want to talk about. Here's a guy who came into the league from North Carolina a while ago. And we thought for the longest period of time, this is bench guy. If he turns into a microwave squirrel off the bench, this might be the best he ends up being. Kobe White continued to work. He continued to add things to his repertoire on offense. He also either took to coaching or had some unbiased scout tell him, hey, you need to take care of the basketball better. And he has. He's taking care of the basketball a lot better. Because he was wild with it the first couple years in the league. He kind of toned it down a little bit last year, but it was still there. And this year, he seems like a more complete, well-adjusted. I understand the speed of the game. I know when I can get my offense in. I know when I can get into the paint and then kick it out to my shooters. He seems like he's in more control of the chessboard than the chessboard was in control of him the first couple years, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So what does this mean for the plan? Again, I told you earlier, Chicago Bulls fans, rejoice. You'll have a playing game at home, at the United Center. Michael Jordan's statue will be out there. He'll have his tongue out. He'll have the whole signature, dunk situation going on. The crowd will be absolutely raucous because you guys will love the energy and the passion that goes into your Bulls, right? I get it. Reinsdorf will be happy because the building is full again. Then you will probably beat Miami because Miami is dead man walking right now. And then you'll go on to see what happens between the 7-8 team. So, is it good? Kinda. Could it be better? Well, time will tell us, right? We'll see how this story continues to coalesce into next year and what kind of pieces that Chicago brings in to help what they have now. But I like what Kobe White, Matas Buzelis, and Josh Giddy have formed. And I think it's something to build on. So I want to leave Chicago Bulls fans with something positive. Like, you guys are playing well. I love the energy. And again, to all NBA teams out there, if you do not get back on defense, the Chicago Bulls have a mandate to embarrass all teams that are lazy getting back on defense. Okay? That is a Billy Donovan special. You are welcome. That's our public service announcement of the day. Now, we're going to get into something that's a little funny, but kind of weird too. I don't know if anybody saw the little situation or the little dust up that happened with Coach Spo of the Miami Heat, his ex-wife, and second year forward Jaime Jaquez Jr. Supposedly, there was a rumor going around that the ex-wife of the coach of the Miami Heat, in some sort of revenge thing, got some sort of intimate relationship with Jaime Jaquez Jr. All these rumors are alleged, and they have been vehemently denied by all parties involved. So, this might give you a little clarity into what the hell is going on in Miami and why they have been struggling so hard. Now, I don't know why this affects Bam Adebayo so much, because he was not the one implicated in these situations, but it seems to affect him more than anybody else. Bam's playing like someone who got assigned a group project and had everyone drop out. He's trying to space, pass, score, anchor a defense, do taxes in the corner. I mean, break down film. And now you don't have Jimmy anymore. So your talent, your high level talent is gone. So your margin for error has shrunk to almost absolutely nothing. And there's no clear go-to offense. It feels like an awkward birthday party. So no music, no plan, just someone handing out warm Capri Suns to everyone. Not great in Miami. Not great at all. So there that one is. Let's move along to our Around the Arc segment, where we kind of bounce around the NBA. We're kind of going to stick to the theme of the play-in and in the East. Let's go ahead and talk about Orlando. They also played the Lakers, and everybody seems to be beating the Lakers nowadays. I'm going to say this one thing to Lakers fans, and listen, I'm excited too. Do I have expectations? Maybe not to the level of all Laker fans. I didn't think this was going to be the year. Now, do I think they could scare the hell out of teams? 100%. I just don't think you have the necessary pieces around the guys that are going to run the offense to be able to get what you think can get done. Now, they do have Luka Doncic. They do have LeBron James. The problem is that do they have enough time together to build that continuity? We'll see. Proof's in the pudding, that sort of thing. But everybody's beating the hell out of the Los Angeles Lakers, and Orlando did it last night. Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner combined for 62 points, and they mopped the floor with the Lakers. The reason why I'm bringing this up is not because of the Lakers, which I know everybody's sitting here saying to themselves, of course Vince was going to get in some Laker propaganda. I don't know if that's Laker propaganda. That just seemed like cold, hard reality that the Lakers aren't playing well right now, and they need to figure themselves out in a real way. Because you can go from 3 to 6 in the West very, very easily. All it takes is a 6-game slide. And guess where the Lakers are looking down the barrel of? Late season basketball, playoff seeding, playoff maneuvering is so fun, because you see these teams trying to, and then you see these teams trying to maneuver to get to these spots. Like Houston is doing everything in their power to get that number 2 spot. And then some teams are like, well, let's rest. Let's make sure we're good getting here. Let's not have no nagging injuries just holding us back. Which leads us to Orlando and what it looks like Atlanta. And I will tell you that Orlando, who albeit shot it well last night, that has not been the case since the calendar turned 2025. It's actually been the case the whole year. We talked about it in the offseason. Was this the time to strike? And people told us no. I had Orlando fans saying to me, no, we want to see another year of this. We want to see our talent develop. We want to, okay. Now, your offense looks absolutely putrid, but y'all can play the hell out of some defense. Orlando. Orlando plays like every possession is a sacred scripture. They're not out here in shootouts. They're out here soul snatching defenses and 94 feet of silence, please. Check this out, man. They're second in defensive rating, first in points allowed. They are 96.3 pace. That's 27th in the league. That's the slowest in the East. They're 28th in half-court efficiency. They're 30th in points per game. They're bottom 5 in three-point rating. So, obviously, spacing is a major problem for them. No Jalen Suggs, who's out for the year. So, the point of attack defender that Jalen Suggs, basically the tip of the spear, for lack of a better term, is gone. So, you don't have that on-ball pressure that you had with Jalen Suggs. Now, Paolo and Franz have been less efficient than normal, but without the full complement of what is going on with this team, you can see why things are the way they are. But they got two creators in Paolo and Franz, and Paolo is giving you 25.4, and Franz is giving you 24.2. And when they are shooting it right, they're efficient, they're methodical, and they're brutal inside the arc. But spacing is going to be a nightmare problem for the entire season because you didn't go out and get Anthony Simons, or to go out and get maybe like a bargain basement version of that guy. So you're asking these guys to operate in phone booths, especially with lineups that feature Wendell Carter Jr. and Jonathan Isaac, because I saw him shoot a 3 last night, and that did not look pretty. The offense struggles in late in the clock situations, but Orlando's bet is that if we can control the tempo, make it ugly, and force teams like Atlanta into decisions, not instincts, they can win. So Jamal Mosley, who is one of pretty much, I want to say almost damn near kind of like the coach of Frontrunner Podcast Collective, because I think we showered more praise on Jamal Mosley than any other coach. Before, we have given a lot of love to J.B. Bickerstaff and Kenny Atkinson this year. Our poster boy, our patron saint of coaching was Jamal Mosley last year. But he's still doing an incredible job, because for as bad as this team has been offensively, and it has been absolutely putrid, defense is effort. And to have those guys still playing hard with the season not going as well as it could, because this was a team that we thought could definitely make the playoffs, no doubt. We didn't think any other situation that the Orlando Magic weren't going to make the playoffs. But the other thing was this, is that we thought that giving Paolo, giving Franz, now albeit bunch of injuries this year, so this is not an indictment on Orlando. This is just what could happen next year. And now that you know that the shooting that you have is not capable of really doing anything to impact winning, you have a pretty good mandate to go out and get shooting, either through free agency, through draft, trades, whatever. So we'll see how it all works. Now, How will Atlanta counteract this? Well, here's the problem. Their other real offensive initiator is not going to be playing, Jalen Johnson. It's a bummer because the Atlanta Hawks, before the Jalen Johnson injury, was an Atlanta Hawks team that I could get behind because there was diversity in offense. You didn't see Trae Young just standing there and just dribbling the ball the whole time and then deciding to shoot or throw up some sort of pick and roll alley-oop to the rim running big. No, we had actual movement of ball. We had people moving around. We had people thinking that they were actually going to touch the basketball other than Trae. It was great. But now we're back to Trae ball. And they have no choice. They really don't have another real on-ball offensive creator. So they're struggling. And they're going to struggle for the rest of the year until Jalen Johnson gets back. So that's how that's going to look. So we'll see which one of these styles kind of imposes its will on one another when we get into that actual play-in game. But we wanted to highlight it for you. Let's give you some numbers on the Atlanta Hawks right now. They are 102.9, which is second in pace. They score 117.6 points per game, which is fifth in the NBA. Their three-point rate is 0.42, which is second most threes per game in the NBA. Their defensive rating is absolutely horrendous. It is 115.3, which is bottom 10 in the NBA. And without Jalen Johnson, you lost not just rim protection, you lost a switchable wing that could pretty much guard 2 through 5 without help. And just to tell you how down bad they are without Jalen Johnson, their net rating without him is a negative 4.6. So he was impacting winning in a strong way. And then they doubled down and they traded DeAndre Hunter. So their other experienced big wing is no longer there. So they're doing this with Zachary Risachet, which is good for him because way to develop. Got to develop this kid. And Onyeka Okongwu is finally getting time because Clint Capella has been hurt. And then it's been a lot of the Trae Young show. Now, we got a couple interesting stats for you that should help you make a decision on who you think can win this. So we'll say, we're going to call this the tempo tug of war. And Soraya actually got these numbers, so I want to shout her out. Thank you, Soraya. So half court offense, points per game, 0.96 for the Atlanta Hawks. Now, defensively, Orlando is at 0.89 on the defensive end. So the edge goes to Orlando. They just lock people up in half court offense. All right. Transition offense. This is where Atlanta sinks. They score 1.21 per possessions. Okay. So now, how does Orlando counteract that? Their defense is only at 1.08. So the edge goes to Atlanta there. So if Atlanta can turn it into a track meet, that means taking the ball out of the bucket and really pressing Orlando to get back on defense. Spot up threes. Who does this advantage go to? Check this out. Spot up threes. Atlanta, 1.14 points per possessions. Orlando allows 0.94 points per possession. Guess what? Push. Pick and roll ball handler. Atlanta, 0.88 points per possession. Orlando allows, and this is where Trae Young is going to make his bread and butter. This is his signature deal, is pick and roll offense. He's a pick and roll maestro. Orlando allows .083. Actually, .83. So Orlando gets the edge there. I think that Orlando could win this game and sneak themselves in to a date with destiny with the Cleveland Cavaliers for the 8th slot. And I'm really interested to see what the Ricochet-Franz matchup looks like. It's going to be a grind fest. And I would think that Orlando could pull this out if they keep it under 100. And if Atlanta can get it into the 110s, it'll be like 114 to like 104. So that's my thoughts on that. Now, we got some other stuff to get to around the arc. These are a little more quick hitters. Golden State reloaded with Jimmy Butler. He's a Bay Area menace right now. Let's roll up on the Warriors. They traded for Jimmy Butler. They traded their soul for him. It's the best thing that we've done since hiring Steve Kerr. They love it. They are 15-2 when Steph and Jimmy share the floor. When it was Wiggins, they were only 17-20. Man, just one guy makes all that difference. Isn't that great? It's no coincidence that they've had this identity shift too. They went from vibes to violence in the fourth quarter trauma. Jimmy is like a guy in the action movie who pulls up halfway through and just starts breaking people's arms and just having just violence just for the sake of violence in the movie. It's like we really didn't need this scene. But you know what? It'll make Jason Statham look cool. Or it'll make Jackie Chan look cool. Or whoever your action star du jour is. Some of us like Van Damme. Some of us like Rambo. Some of us, whoever. All I know is that Golden State has been playing really well with Jimmy Butler. He has made all the difference in the world. And yes, sometimes, Joseph Lacob, it is okay to trade pieces that help you win championships. It doesn't make you a non-loyal owner. It makes you a smart owner. And if you can get off Jonathan Kuminga in the summertime, you should. And this nonsense about how we drafted them and we want to cultivate them and they need to be Warriors for life and they're part of Dub Nation. Let me tell you something. Jonathan Kuminga to what Jimmy Butler is duplicative, and it's a lesser version of what Jimmy Butler is. So if he has value of any kind, trade him during the summer. Get pieces back that will help your team, like some size, some actual centers, and you'll be better off. That's my little tip to Mike Dunleavy Jr. and his little buddy, the younger Lacob in the front office there. All right, so we will say this about Wiggs. A couple nights ago, he did go off for 42, so let's give him some love. I didn't even know he still had it in him. And now that we're getting into like stats and points, let's get into our new segment called Off the Bounce. Now, we're going to start off the bounce with none other than the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. 32 points, 17 boards, and 22 of those came in the third quarter alone of his points. You know what I'm saying? That's a fire code violation levels of hot. I know the fire marshal came and fined Fiserv Arena a lot of money for how hot Giannis Antetokounmpo was in that third quarter. 20 points? What? Giannis catches his inside the arc. Okay, now this is something that I saw in the game. Giannis catches it inside the arc. Sabonis is sagging like it's 2018, and Giannis still can't hit a shot. He did a one dribble, spin back, and boom, Euro step into a dunk. It was so violent, I swear, at the rim looked at him and said, "Please don't do this to me. Don't hurt me, Giannis." Now, 2 plays later, he pushes transition. This is Giannis. He pushes in transition, head down, throws a left to right cross at a full speed, finish it off the glass with his body facing the bench, and he wasn't hooping. He was baptizing people. He was helping defenders see the Lord. He was like, you need to be blessed in the dunks of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis still attacks the rim like, I swear to God, he attacks the rim like a dude that sees another dude that slept with his girl. So think about that. Think about that type of aggression. And then how Giannis looks at the rim. It's similar. See how similar that's? Yeah, see? Soraya got some more stats for us. Check this out. Giannis is averaging 28, 11, and 6 since March 1st. Bucks are plus 15 in the third quarter versus the Kings. He went off that game. Used 5 possessions of delay into the elbow ISO against the Kings, and the Kings never adjusted. He just kept running the same play over and over again. It wasn't bully ball. This was structure. So our guy, Doc Rivers, is out here tacticianing up the Milwaukee Bucks for a run in the playoffs. So, fear the deer fans, Milwaukee Bucks fans, do you like what you're seeing in your team? How far do you think they can go? Do you think that the greatness of Giannis and Dame can take you to the Eastern Conference Finals? Or do you feel like your talent is just not good enough to go up against the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Boston Celtics? Let us know. We want to hear from you. Now, a couple other things that we want to get to. And this is Wiggins. We need to talk about our guy and his 42-point explosion that he had the other night. Here are some of my notes that I wrote down watching this. Yes, I was watching this game. So Wiggins was the one we thought he was gone, right? We thought this was it. We talked about it, I think, last in a pod a couple months ago. And basically we were talking about the NBA Finals 22 Wiggins. We had never seen him again. But yet, hold on. He dropped 42. 16 of 21 shooting and 6 of 8 from 3. This man hit the 305 and turned into Dwayne Wade with a jump shot. I'm not saying South Beach changed him, but he's moving like he got some ocean clarity in his system. This man feel revitalized. He came off a double drag from the right wing. He caught in a clean no dribble, rose up and buried a 3 over one of the defenders against Charlotte. I think it was Miles Bridges, if I'm not mistaken. Then the next trip, exit screen into a fade, another 3, same spot. I'm trying to tell you that the Heat used Tyler Hero as a decoy to bend the defense. Wiggins worked from the second side action 67% of the time against mismatches. So they kept on getting him to a situation where he had one of the guards on him, and he just took him to school. 11 of his 16 shots that were made came from the first 9 seconds of the shot clock. So he was getting them up. He was feeling confident. and he was letting it go. He was in the zone. Wiggins found himself in the second quarter, and by that time, Charlotte realized that he was that guy again. 2022 NBA Finals, Andrew Wiggins had rose from the dead like the Undertaker. It was great. Now, we got to move along. We got to talk about something that is great, especially at this time of year, because our guy in Oklahoma City is cooking. It is none other than Mark Daigneault. The head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder is doing it again, not because Oklahoma City is killing it in the record, not because they're number one in the West, which is the better conference between the two conferences. It's none of those things. You know what it is for me? The Thunder have Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein. Yeah, you heard that right. They quietly become the most dominant defensive front court nobody's talking about. They're 9-2 when they start together. Their net rating is positive 14.2 in 204 minutes. Now, I will tell you this. That is a small sample size. We know that they had significant injuries. Early in the season, Hartenstein was hurt, didn't play with Chet. Then Chet got hurt, did something to his hip. Whatever case may be, he was out for a long period of time. Now they're back, and the Wonder Twins have activated. Okay? Form of water, whatever the hell else you want to call it. But that positive 14.2 in 204 minutes, albeit a small sample size, we're just going to see that number continue to grow. And shouts out to Soraya for getting that nuggets for us. It's not just vibes. It's not just vibes. It's we back up stats. We get it for you. We all watching these games, so it's great. So listen, it's not 2004. You know, it's not like we just throwing double bigs out here and it's Atlanta Hawks. You know, Kevin Willis with Tree Rollins all over again. Now, for my young people who don't know about Kevin Willis and Tree Rollins, when they had Dominique Wilkins. Oh, and by the way, Doc Rivers was actually a point guard on that team. So go to your YouTubes and figure that out. But they are acting like Undertaker and Kane in the paint. Chet floats, Hartenstein bangs. They cover each other's flaws like peanut butter and jelly. And if this holds, OKC has a final ceiling. I'm serious. This team is not just top heavy. They are super deep, and they have now fixed the problem that they had last year. They weren't big enough last year. I said it before the playoffs started. It proved out right. They went in, and to Sam Presti's credit, he said, we are going to take last year's playoffs, evaluate, see what our needs are, and then fill those needs in the offseason. Check and check. Alex Caruso, come on down. Isaiah Hartenstein, come on down. Pair with Chet. Make a dynamic defensive duo. We got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is an MVP waiting to happen. Able to score 40 points in his sleep. And now OKC looks like they cannot be beat. They are the odds-on favorite in the West. And I'm going to tell you right now, I love the Lakers. I think Denver is formidable. But looking at OKC, you can talk about how young they are. And they are young. And we will find out in the crucible that is the playoffs. Because there is no bigger truth teller than the NBA playoffs about your game. Jalen Williams, we will find out if he is a true number two, or we will find out that Chet has overtaken him. We will find out if the Isaiah Joes of the world, who shoot so free and easy with their three-point shots in the regular season, how do those shots look in the playoffs? We'll find out. But they've given us any indications that there's any cracks within this dam whatsoever. This looks like a finely tuned machine, and Mark Dagnall has got these guys not just playing well, executing well, playing on a string together. And now, if they're going to have double bigs as well, it's a wrap. If this is what it's going to be, and we can't leave Jalen Williams open, or we can't leave Isaiah Joe open because maybe the moment is just still a little too big for them, this is a wrap. OKC will go to the finals. All right, let's hit the Celtics real quick, because I know a lot of people, they get a little mad about the Celtics. You know, they selling teams and all kinds of stuff and whatever. But here's the deal. 15-6 when they're all healthy. They have a negative 13-point differential when KP is not there. Porzingis is like a luxury sports car. It's beautiful. But if you don't know how to drive it, he stalls out on offense. I'm trying to tell you, they need him. Tatum needs to go ahead and continue to be the dude that he's doing right now. He needs to just continue to do that. Allow Brown to fall into that number 2 role. And then you have smart players like Drew and Derek White. I'm still a big fan. Well, I take that back. I'm never a fan of the Celtics. Never. But I appreciate the talent. I appreciate how they go about their business. And I just, even as good as Cleveland is, I'm still worried. And I don't think you can take that worry away. We can talk about numbers. We can talk about who's played who and who was in those actual matchups and things of this nature. But the one thing that I will 100% say, until I see Donovan Mitchell and I see Darius Garland handle Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I'm gonna always have cause for concerns. Do I think that Cleveland is not talented enough to win and go to the finals? No. I do believe they are playing the best basketball and what have you. I just need to see it in the playoffs. Couple quick hitters and then we can get up out here. CJ McCollum scored 40. So as much as we ragged on CJ in the last podcast, shooting 1 for 15, let's celebrate our guy scoring 40 points, having 7 rebounds, 5 or 6. Now, albeit in a loss to Detroit. No Zion, obviously. We traded Brandon Ingram, so CJ was the last survivor. You know what I'm saying? He's the designated survivor. So he scored 40. And here's the thing about CJ that I love is that even though I capped on him, not even I even said, it's all jokes, no, it's all love. But he's not gonna go viral. He's not yelling. He's not carving teams up. He just hoops. He just gets to his spots. He's able to contribute. Now, is he overpaid for what he does? Yes. But that's not his fault. CJ's third 40-point game since 2022. He shot 5 of 9 from 3. And he was 13 of 18 in the mid-range area. His usage jumped up to 31.2%. That's what happens when you don't have Zion Williamson. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to our guy, CJ McCollum, putting up 40, albeit in a losing effort, but he was undermanned, and he was like, I'm going down with the ship. I'm going to continue to keep on shooting the rock, and I'm going to continue to get to the mid-range and dance on these fools and get buckets. Now, Jamal Murray has found himself, ladies and gentlemen. Jamal Murray's he looks spry. He looks lighter. and he's starting to score. Murray gave you 39.7 assists in a must-win over the Houston Rockets. And when Jokic sat for 4 minutes, he didn't blink. You know what I'm saying? He just like, yo, I'm going to hit these threes, pick and roll, bottom. Next trip, same action. Defender fights over. Murray snakes, 2-foot plant, floater. Boom. He's like, I got this. Don't worry. And you can see he can smell blood. Denver was plus 11 in 9 Jokic minutes. Murray shot 6 of 7 in the fourth quarter. Houston dropped coverage, got torched for 1.42 points per possession when Murray initiated the action. I will say that again. Houston dropped coverage, gave up 1.42 points per possession when Murray initiated the action. Now, quick timeout. If you are enjoying the show, hit the subscribe button. If you are enjoying the show, hit the follow button. Turn on notification. Also, drop us that smooth, that great, that 5-star rating, because you know where you need to get all the NBA stuff from is Frontrunner Podcast Collective. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple. We are on YouTube. We are everywhere. We're everywhere, man. We're everywhere. All right. Last thing, Cleveland. What the hell is going on with Cleveland right now? We lost 4 in a row after winning on a 16-game heater. You go out and lose 4 in a row. We got some questions now. Defense is slipping. Spacing getting messy. DeAndre Hunter hasn't stabilized not a damn thing, but he has looked good. He's looked good. Offensive rating still number 1. The big change is this. Donovan Mitchell is shooting 39% from the field. He's shooting 28% from 3. And that is what is going on. Oh, by the way, our guy Darius Garland, not as good as well. It's like 44% from the field and 32% from 3. Yes. So those numbers from your 2 guards who primarily drive offense. Now, Evan Mobley has stepped up in a big way. He's part of that big 3. But he still needs you to get him the ball to be able to get offense and to be able to get productive offense for you. So my question is, we know that Donovan Mitchell has like a groin injury or what have you. We know, it's the dog days of March and we're getting into April, and they had a big lead and they're not going to give up that lead to the Boston Celtics. So yes, I understand you can throttle down a little bit, but 4 straight consecutive losses, and it looked like your guards did not adjust to physicality well. All 4 of those teams put physicality on Darius Garland, on Donovan Mitchell, and they didn't seem to enjoy it a lot. So I wonder if this is the play towards the Cleveland Cavaliers to effectively push yourself into a competitive series and in finality winning the series. So I personally think that Cleveland is fine. I don't think nothing is really happening. The one thing that does lead some sort of concern is Mitchell going to be healthy? Are the guards going to be able to figure out, can they play over physicality and length? Is this a new trend, or is this just, hey, we took our foot off the gas pedal. When the playoffs start, we'll be sharp, we'll be ready to go? That's the question in Cleveland. So let them know, fam. Let me know what's going on with you. Let me know in the comments, hey, our team is good. We just are allowing our guys to kind of a little rest as we get into the playoffs and we're just looking to get healthy and get everybody together. I just want to know. I want to know where the Cleveland Cavaliers fans feel about their team right now at this moment with the 4 losses. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you can be the number 1 seed, but you can be a second round exit if you continue to play like this. No doubt. So with that being said, I want to thank the producer of this show, Soraya. She provided all of the great statistics that we got. She also came in and told us that Josh Giddy is cute. That's something that I did not need or thought I would ever hear on Frontrunner Podcast Collective, but there it is. Now we know. The other thing is that we are now 2 times a week, and that is now Tuesday and Friday. I want to make sure that you guys know that, and we are so grateful to our audience. Please make yourself known. Come and join us on Twitter. Come and join us on Blue Sky. My Blue Sky handle is at FrontrunnerPC. Also, Soraya is at FRPC hyphen producer .bsky.social, because she's highfalutin. So FRPC hyphen producer .bsky.social get you Soraya. Also, you can hit FRPC social.bsky.social. That's the social team. You know, we got one of those now, which is pretty cool. Gonna start lighting that bad boy up pretty soon. And make sure that you go to the website, to frpc.podcastpage.io. That is where you get everything. That you get the pods. So the pods, our archive pods are there. Our blogs are there. Please go check those out. Tell us what you think. Communicate with us. We want that from you. We want open dialogue with our audience. And we want to know how we can get better and how we can serve you better. So let us know. And with that being said, how we want to get out of here is hopefully we can leave you in a better place than when we found you. Hopefully this was a good time for you as it was for us, that we were able to, chop it up for a good 80 to 90 minutes about this game that we absolutely love and that we lose our minds for. And that is NBA basketball. So, for my producer, Soraya, I'm Vince, and we want to leave you with this. The best part of you is you. Make sure that you are surrounded by people who are supportive and people that are bringing positivity to you. Now, when they're doing that for you, please acknowledge those who are exhibiting those type of behavior. Appreciate those who are providing that sort of support that you need. And if you're that well-rounded of a person, go out and do some good in this world. And we'll see you back on this feed on Friday. Deuces.